Hello, everyone. Welcome to the end of times. The season is behind us. This is the USFL Championship game and Year 2 recap. Let's get it. Okay, starting off with the championship game for the USFL. We had the Birmingham Stallions taking on the Pittsburgh Maulers, with the Stallions winning this one 28-12. I feel like that score isn't fully indicative of the game that the Maulers put up. I don't think they would have won, but as I will get into, there was some fishy things going on there that I think the Stallions benefited from. But before I go full conspiracy theory, I'm going to have Investigator Jim do a full deep dive. That will be coming in the next week or so, so be tuned to that. I'm not going to really try and get into any of that right here. The game was awesome. I love the vibe in Canton during championship weekend. I was very sad that I couldn't be there myself, but it looked like it was a good time. The crowd was great. The environment was great. And when they won, my favorite part of the whole experience was seeing those Stallions players pop 40 ounces of High Life. It was just mwah. This game kind of showed just that the Stallions really are the cream of the crop when it comes to this league in particular. And I would argue spring football as a whole, they're probably just that level above everyone else. I think they're in a good position right now. I think Magoo's probably gone. He's probably going to be on an NFL roster. I don't know if anyone else, aside from some receivers and some defensive players, are going to be jumping up to that. Some people call it the next level. I just call it a different level. Fuck them. But I'm excited to see how this team kind of looks into next year. But staying on the championship game, the offense for the Stallions was it was beautiful. The defense, as I've been saying, for the last 3-4 weeks has really just been staying up. And as they've gotten players back from injury, they've just been getting better and better and better. And they kind of just, that coincided here where their defense was obviously good enough to stop an offense like the Maulers. But the Maulers did themselves no favors with dumb decision making. They really couldn't do anything past a 10-yard just slant play. That was basically their entire offense. They could run the ball decently when they wanted to. I don't know why they strayed away from that so often. But the deep threat of the passing game just wasn't there for the Maulers. And you kind of need that if you're going to be playing against a team like the Stallions, who just have the ability to just throttle it down and just blast you in the face with offense with their just giant, meaty fucking horse dick. This is their offense right here. This is the Stallions' offense just fucking your face. And even then, it was still a one-score game in the fourth quarter until the Maulers decided to go for it on fourth down with plenty of time left. They were only down 9, which, remember, in the USFL, that's just one score. I don't know why you decided to do that. I don't know why it felt like this game was just over. The ending just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But the overall experience of the championship game was fun and fantastic and entertaining. And what more can you really ask for? Now we take a look back at the season as a whole, year 2 of the USFL. What happened? What are some positives? What are, I'd say, few negatives? I don't think there was really very many, maybe 2 or 3. The positives very much outweigh everything else. Positive 1, the level of play rose dramatically from year 1 to year 2, especially for the bottom teams. Every team, boom. I think the Stallions team is better than last year. Obviously, the Maulers team is better than last year. The Panthers improved. The only 2 teams I would say that are worse this year than last year are the Stars and the Generals. Every other team improved their level of play. Even the Breakers, as much as they had a similar season as what they did last year, I still think this Breakers team is better than last year's team. I think that was a major factor for the USFL in year 2. The level of play rose dramatically. I'm excited to see how they keep continuity going into year 3. I'm excited to see. This is the first year I can think of any of these spring leagues where I could definitely see every coach returning, which is something that would very much excite me. I think just the vibe of the USFL was really good this year. I understand the season went by really, really fast, but that's also on part because it was so entertaining. Couple of the negatives before I get to like each team sort of dealio. The North versus the South has got to improve in year 3. You can't have one division absolutely dominating the other the entire year. Like, the North had 0 teams with a winning record. That is embarrassing. And if you're going to do something like that, maybe think about scrapping divisions. I don't think they will, and I don't know necessarily if they should, but you got to raise the level of play in the North division. You got to be competitive here. You got to have, you can't, that's not good for anybody when one division is just slapping the hell out of the other division. You need competitiveness. Other thing is they're not going to go to the home markets, which is fine. I'm okay with that. They're approaching this in a very methodical, slow way. Some would say agonizing slow. It's like they're teasing us. It's like, you guys ever done denial play? It's like that. They're denying us. They're bringing us to the edge and then just denying us a good finish. But that means when you do finish, it'll just be that much sweeter. The USFL is really into delayed gratification, so to speak. And I wonder if they increase the hubs a little bit where you have some teams just playing solo in their home markets and they're there by themselves and they have that. And you add maybe 2 cities. So then you just have 2 teams sharing a hub in each division or something like that. Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm expecting slow, methodical improvements, which is what we've come to expect from Moose Johnson in the USFL. Other thing I'd like to see in year 3, with the development of new rules, and I wonder if they bring even a few more tweaks and whatnot into year 3, I'd like to see coaches that take advantage of it. Things like going for 3 after a touchdown, onside kick rules, double forward passes. I want to see experimental coaches that like to kind of play with these new rule sets that these leagues are offering. The USFL having a bunch of really fun and interesting rules. I want to see people that take advantage of that. I understand that that's going to be a slow process, but I wonder if in year 3 we start to see that sort of start to bubble up, so to speak. Now that leads me to my year 2 USFL power rankings. Up at number 1, I have the Stallions. Who didn't see that one coming? Your Birmingham Stallions are your top team in the USFL. They own this league. They run this league. At number 2, we have the Pittsburgh Maulers. They made it to the championship league. People will maybe tell you at me, USFL Jim, what about the records? What about the records? What about the records? Fuck your records. The Maulers made it to the championship game. Eat my dick. They are the second best team in the league. They have the best defense. The offense looked great. I would have taken the Maulers against the Breakers. I would have taken the Maulers against the game. I would have taken the Maulers against almost any other team at the end of the year. Number 3, give me the Breakers. They got housed. They got fucking washed, but I think that's them playing the Stallions more so than anything else. I think against any other team, the Breakers look fantastic. They probably don't beat the Maulers. They probably don't, but I think it's a very competitive game. Up next, we're going to go with the Panthers because they made the playoffs. The offense, when the Panthers are on, we saw throughout the year when they were on, they could be the best team in the league. They could very much be extremely competitive with the top teams in the league. And I think the fact that I'm just going to go with they were on to end the season. They were looking pretty damn good. Now, outside of the playoffs, that's where it starts to get a little tricky. We're going to go with the Houston Gamblers up next. They were consistent throughout most of the year. The defense was pretty good. The offense showed a lot of good sparks, and I like this team. I like the Gamblers here. And then we're going to go with the Showboats, who kind of collapsed at the end of the year. But for that middle chunk, they were fantastic. The offense was mwah. The defense got my dick hard, and despite having Todd Haley as a head coach, I was rooting for this team. You know how good and fun you have to have me root for a team coached by Todd fucking Haley? You have to be really good. So, there's your Showboats. Next, I'm going to go with the Stars. This is just my Case Cook is bias showing. This offensive line was putrid. The defense could do nothing. This team was very much maybe the biggest disappointment, if not the second biggest disappointment of the entire year. And at the bottom, we're going to put the New Jersey Generals from number 1 in the North to just what the hell's going on here. Again, offensive line woes. Couldn't run the ball to save your life and just couldn't figure out what to do at quarterback. I think losing Turpin was just a huge blow to this team, and they couldn't do anything. They had no weapons whatsoever to speak of. So that was just bleh, 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 bleh. But anyway, that's my power rankings. Let's get through a little synopsis of how I feel like each team's year 2 went. Okay, so I brought up my notes here. I have my notes for each team of the USFL. I'm going to give you just a brief little deal. So for the Stallions, 7 teams, 1 horse. I'm not going to elaborate. Maulers, from chicken salad to championship. That's fucking right, baby. Go Maulers. For the Breakers, the more things change, the more things stay the same. You basically found yourself in the same situation as you did last year, and you got beat worse in the playoffs this year than you did last year. For the Panthers, sometimes it may be grass, sometimes it may be shit. That was a terrible rendition, a terrible fucking meme. I'm sorry. Kill me, but I did it. Gamblers, better record, same result. Better record, same result. Showboats, they were fun despite Todd Haley, which is impressive in and of itself. Stars, you can't cook with a non-existent line. You need a line. You need a line cook. You need multiple line cooks to actually help your chef be able to cook in the kitchen, and they had nothing. They had nothing. The Generals, classic Mike Riley, lures you in with a pretty decent first season and then just major disappointment. I want to see how he rebounds for year 3. Anyway, this has been year 2 of the USFL. I have been almost rock hard for a good 2 months now. And I don't know what to do with myself. So I'll just leave you with this. This league is special. This league is all that matters in life, death, and even afterlife. I want you to remember how important the USFL is when you're going to bed, when you're waking your children up for school. All of this is temporary. The USFL is forever. So long, everyone.